2-3 बार रिपीट करेंगे तभी वो कंठस्थ होगा, वो सभी को कंठस्थ होगा। एक प्रकार का उसका ट्यून ये सब एकदम कंठस्थ हो जाएगा, जिस छंद में बोलना है। चैतन्य भागवत given by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Chaitanya Bhagavat is a vivid description of Adi Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, the first verse starts, which is the Mangalacharan, first 5 verses of the Mangalacharan. आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियौ करुणावतारौ। नमस्त्रिकालसत्याय जगन्नाथाय सूताय च सभृत्याय सपुत्राय सकलत्राय ते नमः। अवतीर्णौ सकारुण्यौ परिचिन्नौ सद् ईश्वरौ श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानन्दौ द्वौ भ्रात्रौ भजे। स जयति विशुद्ध विक्रमः कनकावह कमलायते क्षणः वरजानु विलम्बि षड्भुजो बहुधा भक्तिरसाभिनातकः। जयति जयति देवः कृष्ण चैतन्य चन्द्रो जयति जयति कीर्ति तस्य नित्या पवित्रा। जयति जयति नृत्या तस्य विश्वेशमूर्ते जयति जयति नित्यं तस्य सर्वप्रियाणाम्। So yesterday very elaborately about why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu maintained the name of Chaitanya has been described, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from Tirtha, from Bharati lineage, but still he maintained the name as Chaitanya because he always wants to show to the Mayavadi sannyasis that even after taking sannyas, the person doesn't become God. He is always a servant of Lord. So that has been very nicely described. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu maintained the name as Chaitanya. He did not call himself Bharati. So that has been very nicely elaborated. One word, yesterday's shloka, one word has been elaborately explained by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay. Today we'll do the 8th verse. आमार भक्तेर पूजा आमाहैते बड़ सेई प्रभु वेदे भागवते कैलादड़. So in the Vedas and in the Bhagavatam, Lord himself has declared, Amara bhakter puja amahaite bada. If you worship my devotees, that is superior to the worship of me. See the powerful statement. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, in Bhagavatam also, if you worship my devotees, that is more greater than the direct worship of me. The devotees who worship the opulent feature of the Lord first develop in their hearts the conception that only the worship of the Supreme Lord is important. This conception, however, diminishes the glories of worshipping the devotees and exhibits the lack of love and devotion for the Supreme Lord. That is why if you find, there are many people who just think that worship of Lord is enough. They are not eager to have the association of devotees. But Srila Prabhupada has emphasized, because in Gaudiya Vaishnava Dhara, if you see, and even in other sampradayas also, like Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Vaishnava Seva has been emphasized. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 principles from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, pure devotional service and Vaishnava Seva. Vaishnava Seva has always been emphasized by the Acharyas. And even Krishna says, Vaishnava Seva is more greater than direct worship of mine. Aradhananam. So in the Padma Puran, Lord Shiva is also telling to Parvati, Aradhananam api sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat partaram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Aradhananam api sarvesham. Of all the types of worship, Vishnu Aradhana is the best. Tasmat Partaram Devi, and better than even the worship of Vishnu, Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Worship of his devotee is most important. That is why Ekantika Harer Bhakti Utpate Kevalam that has been emphasized. Ekantika Harer. I am doing everything alone. My sadhana is happening so much. Are you worshipping? Are you serving the Vaishnavas? That is more important. Yesterday in NOD class, Nectar of Devotion, a very nice statement has been given. Among all the worship, we have to worship Lord, we have to worship the Vaishnavas, the Brahmanas, the cows. Then the Gautime Tantriya Upanishad says, among all the worship, cow worship is the greatest. More powerful statement. Now in Padma Puran, Gautami Tantriya Upanishad, it is said, cow worship is greater than all the worship. And in Padma Puran, it has been stated more than even Vishnu worship is Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Worship his devotees. Archayitvaha tu govindam tadiyan archayet yah न स भागवतो यज्ञेयः kevalam dambikah smritah. One who worships Govinda but fails to worship his devotees should be understood to be not a devotee of the Lord but simply a victim of false pride. That is why the pride can come. Oh, I am a great devotee. But if we worship the devotees, then that pride will never come. Among all the devotees, our spiritual master leads first and all other Vaishnavas. So we have to worship them. If we don't worship them, then we can develop a false pride. The word dada also means drida, with determination. Drida. In the path of awe and reverence, the Supreme Lord alone is worshipped and his servants are the worshippers. But in the path of spontaneous attachment, awe and reverence are not prominent in the relationship between the object of worship and the worshipper. Rather, the attitude of service is prominent. The servants have great pride in the service. Therefore, the servants in Madhurya Rasa consider themselves greater than their worshipable Lord Krishna. In other words, such persons consider their worshipable Lord as a subordinate or under their control. Now, Madhurya Rasa has been emphasized. In Madhurya Rasa, the devotees consider Krishna to be subordinate. They consider that that Krishna is completely under their control. The superiority of worshipping the Lord's devotees is celebrated in the Vedas. Some examples are found in the following statements. Mundaka Upanishad states, Tasmad Atmagyam hi archayed bhutikamaha. By worshipping the devotees of the Lord, all one's desires will be fulfilled. That is why we say, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. The moment we see a Vaishnava, immediately these prayers should come. And as and when also in the day, as many times we chant Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, it is not only to a particular Vaishnava, it is for the Samasta Vaishnavas, to all the Vaishnavas of the Brahmanda. Baladev Vidyabhushan has written in his Govinda Bhashya commentary on the Vedanta Sutras, Atmagyam Bhagavat Tattvagyam Tad Bhaktam iti artah bhutikamo moksha paryantah sampatti lipsuriti artah. In other words, if one wants the highest benediction, he should serve the devotees of the Lord. In Madhvacharya's commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, he quotes the following from the Poshayan Shrutis. Tanu te tamavantu. Worship the devotees of the Lord, serve the devotees of the Lord, hear from the devotees of the Lord, for they will protect you. In the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is stated, Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tatha guru, tasyete katitayartam, prakashanti mahatmana. This is very important verse. Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tatha guru, tasyete katitayartam, prakashanti mahatmana. As much as you worship Lord, more, even in fact more than that, one has to worship his devotee. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. Should worship your guru more than your worshipable Lord. He should be your worshipable Lord. Here the example of very nice name, Ananta. Anantalu, no, not Anantalu, Anantach. I will give the name. Very beautiful, very nice devotee of Ramanuja. Every time we quote his example, he's actually from Mysore. His name, I'm just nice name of very, very wonderful devotee. Just now I had given this name also. Ramanuja had placed his feet onto the devotee and then he left the body. So he used to love Ramanuja so much that he used to say, once it so happened, Ramanuja gave him the Mahaprasad. Then he wiped his hand on his forehead. The Ramanuja told, you should wash your hands now. He just kept quiet. Next time, Ramanuja gave him Mahaprasad. When you say Mahaprasad, Mahaprasad refers to the remnants of the spiritual master. After he has taken the remnants of Krishna, the remaining remnants is of the spiritual master. So when the spiritual master's remnants were given, that is Ramanuja gave his remnants, he wiped it on his forehead. And then when next time Ramanuja gave Mahaprasad, he went and washed his hands. The time Ramanuja told, you should wipe your hands on the Andhrapurna. His name is Andhrapurna. So you should wipe your hands on the forehead. Why did you wash off the Mahaprasad of Lord? Prasadam is mercy. Then he said, last time Auntie, you told that whenever you take Mahaprasad, you should wipe your hands. I'm exactly doing whatever you say. Because last time I took my worshipable Lord's Prasadam, and that is why I wiped my hand on my forehead. So Andhrapurna was so great devotee of Ramanuja. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. Tasyete katitayattam prakashanti mahatmana. If such type of worship is there, then automatically the knowledge is revealed. One need not be a scholar. He can be the most lowest of the lowest. But still, if the mercy of his spiritual master is there, then he can speak Vedas, speak Siddhantas. In the Itihasya Samuchaya, it is stated, Tasmad Vishnu Prasadaya Vaishnavan Paritoshayet Prasada Sumukho Vishnus Tenaiva Syanna Samshaya. In order to attain the mercy of Lord, one should satisfy the Vaishnavas. There is no doubt that by their mercy, Vishnu will be pleased. There are many similar statements in Vaishnava literatures. Now, the 9th verse. Madbhakto pujabhyadika sarvabhuteshu manmatihi. Krishna very clearly says, Madbhaktaha pujabhyadika adikaha. The worship of my devotees is always greater than sarvabhuteshu manmatihi. For everybody, worshipping my devotees is greater than worshipping me directly. Very clearly, Krishna says. That is why if there is an instance where you have to serve Lord and then you have to follow the instructions of your spiritual master, like sometimes it so happens in the in the Bhagavad Gita distribution. Early morning, you have to go and place the stall. Your spiritual master has told you that you have to go and do the book distribution. At that time, if you say, no, I have to worship my Lord, I have this puja, that puja in the house, then actually the Lord says, when your spiritual master is instructed, and the instruction comes prior only, even if it is sudden, even if it is immediate, that is more important because that is naturally connecting you to Krishna. Through our spiritual master, we are connected to Krishna. Directly, if we try to establish our connection to Krishna, Krishna is not pleased because we don't have the qualification to get connected to Krishna directly. But when we are connecting to Krishna through the medium of our spiritual master, Krishna accepts us. That is where the difference lies. If we try to do our bhakti alone, if we try to go and visit the dham and thinking that, I can see Lord directly. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a class, at that time the path was open. Every devotee went and took darshan except for Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada just sat before his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you have ears to hear. You have the inclination to hear. You will have many disciples around the world. You will establish Gaudiya Vaishnavism around the world. So that is a blessing given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Because when our spiritual master is speaking to us at that time, that is more important than going and taking directly darshan of Krishna. Because wherever the spiritual master speaks about Krishna, there Krishna is present. Shailapurna is the example. Shailapurna comes to teach Ramayana to Ramanujacharya. He forgot once the Madhya Seva. At the time, Lord says, don't worry, wherever you speak, I personally come along with you. And to give that example also, to show the pramana also, if you see in Alipiri, you have Lord's Paduka there. Lord's Padam, not Paduka, Padam. Lord's Padam over there. Because that was a pramana shown by Lord Krishna himself. That is why instruction of the spiritual master is more important than anything else. The most important in your life is to follow the instruction of our spiritual master. That is enough to take us back home, back to Godhead. If we try to do the bhakti alone, howsoever one may do, 64 rounds, 108 rounds, whatever it may be, everything is big zero if we don't follow the words of our spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada has very clearly instructed us to lead the mission of preaching everywhere. And for that, whatever it can, whatever it may be, you have to do that. एते करिलागे भक्तेरवंदना तैव आच्य कार्य सिद्धिर लक्षण. So here Vrindavan Das Thakur says, that is why I have offered my prayers first to the devotees, as this is the secret for attaining perfection. So he says, this is a secret. You offer your prayers to a spiritual master, to the Vaishnavas. That is the secret for attaining the mercy of Krishna. The Adi Puran very clearly it is said, Ye me bhakta jana partha, na me bhakta chate janaha. Whoever is my devotee is not my devotee, Krishna says, Mad bhaktanam chate bhaktas, Mad bhaktanam chaye bhaktas, te me bhakta tamamataha. Whoever is devotee of my devotee, I consider him as my devotee. That's why Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, they are considered to be the charama. In Bhagavad Gita, very directly, you will not find such instructions. Bhagavad Gita is the base. Then Bhagavatam becomes the graduation. But doctorate degree is nothing but studying Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Chaitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. Because such instructions, though are there in Bhagavatam, but the emphasis is given in Chaitanya Chaitamrita with the eyes of Bhagavatam. So that emphasis which the acharyas have followed, they are showing by their practical example that whatever is given in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, that has to be followed. Or just one person will go on reading. Ye me bhakta jana partha, name bhaktas chate janaha, mad bhaktanam chaye bhaktas tame te me bhakta tamamataha. This is my mata. Krishna very clearly tells in Adi Purana. My dear Partha, those who claim to be my devotees are not my devotees, but those who claim to be devotees of my devotees are actually my devotees. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.7.20 it is stated, दूरापहि अल्पतपस्सः सेवा वैकुण्ठवर्त्मासु यत्रोपगीयते नित्यं देवदेवो जनार्दनः. Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees who are progressing in the path to the kingdom of Godhead, the Vaikunthas. That is why it is not so easy to get initiation also. When you say initiation, it's not so easy. It's not just somebody sitting on the pandal and then calling you and doing some fuk mantra in your ears. That is not recommended in Vaishnava Sampradaya. In any of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, to get initiated from the spiritual master requires austerity. In Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the austerity is minimum 16 rounds chanting, waking up early in the morning, offering prayers to Lord, offering bhogas to Lord. Minimum 16 rounds chanting has to be done. This is the minimum qualification, is just the minimum qualification to get initiated in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Dhara. So those who don't do any austerity, they are not qualified. Pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all entities, living entities. In the Padma Puran, Uttarakhanda, it is stated, Archayitva tu Govindam tadiyan archayetu yaha nasa bhakta bhagavato gyeyah kevalam dambikah smritah तस्मा सर्वप्रयत्नेन वैष्णवान् पूज्यते पूजयेत सदा सर्वं तरति दुःखौ धम महाभागवतार्चनात्. One who performs worship of Govinda but fails to worship his devotees should be understood to be not a devotee of the Lord, but simply a victim of false pride. One should always worship the Vaishnavas by all means, for by worshipping the great devotees, one is freed from all miseries. In this way, various other statements glorifying the worship of pure devotees are found in the scriptures. The word Karya Siddhi is explained by Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Govinda Bhashya commentary in the Vedanta Sutra. Now see, one word has been explained. Now, Karya Siddhi. ಏತೈಕ ಕರಿಲ ಆಗೆ ಭಕ್ತೇರ ವಂದನ ಅತೈವ ಆಚೆ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಸಿದ್ಧೇರ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. So Bhaktera Vandana has been glorified. Now Karya Siddhi. From Govinda Bhashya commentary, it has been taken. Siddhir bhavati naneti samshaya achyuta sevinam nisamshayasto madbhaktah parichariya केवलं भगवत्पादः सेवया विमलं मनः न जायते यथा नित्यं तद्भक्तः चरणार्चनात्. One may doubt whether the servant of the Lord will attain perfection, but there is absolutely no doubt. Don't have any samshaya, Krishna says. There is absolutely no doubt that those who are attached to serving his devotees will attain perfection. Seek opportunity. He said, always seek opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas. One's mind is not as fully purified by serving the lotus feet of the Lord as it is by serving the feet of his devotees. Just see the powerful statement. Even if you offer hundreds and thousands of flowers to Lord, so much of archana, even if we do, that is not going to give us any siddhi. Rather than by serving, that the purification is not attained. But simply by serving the Vaishnavas, this is attained very easily. Srila Kaviraj Goswami has written in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 1.20 and 21 as follows. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of God, I have invoked their benedictions. Only serving Lord will not give any results. But if you serve all these three, that is, devotees, Guru, and Krishna. All three. I have invoked their benedictions. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. So, association of devotees leads us to the association of our Guru. Association of our Guru gives us the benediction to have association of Krishna. Simple. It is devotees who take us first in the sadhana process. And by such sadhana process, we get qualified to get initiation from the spiritual master. And because of following the principles and the instructions given by the spiritual master, we get the mercy of Krishna. So that has been emphasized. So here we'll stop. Any questions you can ask. Requesting devotees to join in time. 8:40 the class starts. 8:30 to 8:40 we have Mangalacharan. We have some prayers, some Vaishnava songs, and at least if you are not able to join 8:30, but you should join at least 8:40. The class starts at 8:40. And it is good to hear the Mangalacharan. Without hearing Mangalacharan, how we can invoke auspiciousness. Don't miss any word of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary on Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavata. It's a fortune that we have started the the prayers of Chaitanya Bhagavata. No doubt.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। माता जी, हमारे पास जो पीडीएफ है उसमें जो संस्कृत मीनिंग नहीं है, बुक में मीनिंग है माता जी?
नहीं,
बुक में भी
वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग नहीं है।
हाँ, वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग। अच्छा,
वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग को भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर ने एक एक शब्द को इलाबरेटली एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है।
अच्छा, परपट में ऐसे ले लिया है। माता जी, ओके माता जी, थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।